See, up on the trail, I feel very equipped to deal with the terrain, but you get down here and I'm not a car, so I guess I get to play the old game of Frogger and wait till there's a clearing and then go right straight across to the trail on the other side. Hello from the trail. Just hiking along today, and thought for a second, though I try not to very often, I'd get a little bit philosophical on you. Just saw a sign and be hiking along this pretty little forest trail, and then see down and below the yellow and white lines of the interstate. Kind of sometimes maybe a little bit what life is like. You never know what you're gonna encounter. In the middle of the woods, you find an interstate. Okay, so we're canoeing down Upper Goose Pond. One of the hiker huts has canoes that the hikers can use, and so just spending a minute on this beautiful clear pond. The threat of thunderstorms has pretty much gone away, but nonetheless we're enjoying the beauty of all of this and very still water. Okay, so just outside, just leaving Great Barrington, Massachusetts this morning, and probably my last day in Massachusetts. You're going along the trail and you see this rock, and you realize when it pulls its head back in, it's not a rock. That is one huge turtle. I bet that guy is really old. I'm gonna just get my foot close so you can see how big that turtle really is. Today is proving to be a little bit of a different as far as wildlife goes. I camped last night at the South Berkshire Recreation Center on their lawn, which they're really gracious to allow to happen. So at 10:30 last night, as I was saying, I kind of awakened to that weird feeling that something isn't exactly right, or something's watching you or something like that. And I was the only camper in that whole area. And I've got a little tent. You've seen pictures of it. And so when I'm inside that tent, there's one side is the tent wall, and the other side's the mesh screen, and then it's got a fly that covers that. But since last night was really warm, I've tied the fly back so that to get the air. So it's just the mesh screen that keeps the bugs out. And at 10:30, I roll over and look out the screen, and about a foot from my face, a big old skunk. And he's fiddling around with my stuff a little bit. And I realized that it would be probably a tragic error to frighten that skunk too much, because then the whole side of my tent and probably me would have gotten sprayed. And that wasn't a good choice. And so I said, hey skunk. He didn't move. And then I realized that he couldn't see through the mesh, and didn't realize that I was there. And so I made a little bit more noise, and there was no reaction from the skunk. Finally, I clapped my hands, and he jumped and ran away. and I was really happy that he didn't spray me. So between the really big turtle that you just saw and the big skunk that I did not get video of, today is shaping up to be a new day for different animals, along with that porcupine that you saw a little bit ago in the video. That was one big porcupine. Beautiful day, getting near the end of my time in Massachusetts. It included a lot of different weather, including a little rainstorm, which didn't get me super wet, but did make the trail a little bit extra slippery. I only fell down once. I think I'll have a nice bruise that nobody will see to show for it. So hiking through the woods with a fellow Sobo, Spice. Hello. Who's really an awesome person. We were going really pretty good, and then got to the signs and looked up, and of course we're looking at it backwards. It says, "Welcome to Massachusetts," which means we are in Connecticut. Woo! Yay! I wasn't even expecting a state change today.
4 states down?
4 states done.
10 to go.
So this is number 5 right here. All right, yay! Almost the first thing this morning after crossing the state line, either late yesterday or today, we climb up Bear Mountain, and we find this very interesting monument with this kind of cool marble plaque, and it says, it's hard to read, but it says, "This monument marks the highest ground in Connecticut." And then it says something to the effect it was built in 1895 or 96, and Owen Travis something. And unfortunately, a lot of people look like they've tried to deface it and scratch it and chip on it and stuff like that. I really don't understand why people have the need to mess up stuff. I guess the same people probably mess up their own lives. Oops, that was probably should have been a trigger warning for people that think that way. Oh well. Hello from Connecticut. Just a pretty morning. So far not too hot. May turn off a little bit hotter today. Coming down this rocky trail, and then you get to this kind of crag looking thing, and as you come up on it, you see it's a pretty good down, but also there are turn blazes at the end of the little gap. The turn blazes are when there are 2 blazes together and one slightly offset from the other. The upper one gives you the direction of the turn. Let's see if we can manage this. I don't know if I can. So I got down through the gap without crashing, which is good. And then there's our turn blazes again. And now we go down that direction. It's amazing how the different days and different parts of the mountains have different terrain and things to hike over. And to be honest with you, after a little over 700 miles and quite a bit of hiking, that it does get a little bit repetitive at times, but then, you know, every step's different really. Let's see if I must see some steps. Probably make you a little bit seasick, sorry about that. Here are the kind of climbing over, and big rocks and little rocks and roots and real big rocks. Okay, so after 4 miles of really nice road walk along a level path next to a river, all of a sudden the trail turns and goes up and up and up the side of a mountain. I don't even know where it ends.